Okay, so we are live. Welcome to the official launch of Kismet. My name is Varshan Sukan, radio personality, and so pleased to be asked by Anish Valodia to host this very special segment where we're going to talk about something really exciting coming our way. Bollywood fans, dance fans, theatrical fans, you are in for something really, really awesome. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We'll get to hear all the details. Firstly, let me tell you about the group that's putting this entire production Kismet together. They're Tare. They're a Cape Town-based, not-for-profit Indian dance troupe using Bollywood music as a canvas to promote Indian arts, and they've been doing this successfully, loud and proud, for 13 years already. They're also acclaimed for original productions that fuse cultural storytelling with vibrant choreography. And the man behind all of this, you're going to meet in a short while, is Anish Valodia. He's the artistic director of Tare, also making Indian arts more accessible to the youth, which is such a great thing. And Kismet is a production that we are also excited about. It's the 11th production from Tare. I can tell you that it's on between 19th and 20th of July. It's on at the Outscape Opera House in Cape Town. It's Tare's reimagined Bollywood dance adaptation of William Shakespeare's masterpiece of star-crossed lovers, whom we all know as Romeo and Juliet, and promises to be a moving experience resonating with both traditional values and, of course, contemporary audiences. So something I'm just going to add as a note here before I introduce you to the cast and, of course, the director. The themes, which are very interesting, a poignant reflection on the tragedy of division, the transcendence of love, and the undeniable power of destiny. So all of this coming together, this really magical, vibrant Bollywood dance adaptation of Romeo and Juliet in Kismet. So as you can see, we have the cast here, the principal actors, the dancers, as well as the man behind it all, the man with the vision, and he's Anish Valodia. And I'm just going to say hi right now to Charita, who's the lead. She plays Juliet. We have Kishalia, who's one of the dancers. Arisha is also a dancer, and Rosaline. Jitesh, who plays the lead guy, Romeo. Mikhail, who plays Mercutio. Priyan is Tybalt. Sume is the collaborator, and Anish Valodia is the man who is the creative director. And I'm, of course, Varshan Sukhan. I'm the host of this segment of the official launch of Kismet. So good to have everyone here. I'm just going to start firing some questions now. I'm not sure who I should go with first because we have such a talented cast here, multi-talented cast of youngsters and a veteran like Anish Valodia and Sume as well. Charita, how about I start with you of the question and answer segment? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
So, Charita, a bit of background. She's a long-standing tare dancer, a teaching assistant, as well as playing Juliet in this one. Yeah. So, let's talk about the music of Kismet. Having been in many tare productions before, do you have perhaps a favorite scene or a song yet?
Yeah, I've had a favorite song in all of the tare productions I've done so far. So this will be my 10th tare production. So that's saying a lot. The music selection for Kismet is quite different to our previous productions because it's finally allowed us to dance to some of those slower, sweeter sounding, more romantic songs. Those songs that we grew up watching at the movies or listening to on the radio and watching on our TV with the DVD back in the day. Those songs that we dreamt about and often wished it was me. Shah Rukh Khan was twirling around with the wind blowing my hair and the wind blowing my scarf. Yeah, so the soundtrack for Kismet, our dance production, will be a treat for our patrons, and you'll hear songs you completely forgot about and remember how much you love them. I don't quite have a favorite scene yet. I'm sure that's coming soon. I have quite a few favorite songs so far, but I don't want to give anything away. So come and see us on stage on the 19th and 20th of July. And after the show, come and tell me which song you think is my favorite, and I'll let you know if you're right.
Well, being a Romeo and Juliet, the story we all know, it's a tragedy. So we all know how this is going to end, unless, of course, Anish is trying to make this a little different. But it obviously means that you have a very painful character to play. How are you going about channeling that? Have you resonated with the character of Juliet?
Yeah, so in terms of resonating with the character, becoming Juliet for the production has been exciting. It's brought back the feelings of a much simpler time for me. Those latter years in high school, when your friend came and told you that there's a boy who really likes you, and your head starts spinning and you feel butterflies in your tummy, and you wonder, why does he like me? What is he going to say? When is he going to speak to me? You look for him wherever you go. You steal a look across the classroom and see if he's looking at you. All those happy, exciting feelings that really overcame you at that point in time. So that's what it's been like for me so far, playing Juliet. And that's what we want our patrons and audience to experience when they come and see Romeo and Juliet, the story that we know so well. It's those romance and love that took over you at a point in time. And yes, it is a tragedy. So in terms of those painful scenes, you may think I channel a painful experience or memory from my past, but it's not quite like that for me. I have a technical dance background, so I graduated as a Kumari in Bharatanatyam in 2008. Bharatanatyam being one of the Indian classical dance forms. And it's my technical background together with years of practice of dance storytelling and using my face to portray emotions that you'll see on stage, and that's how I channel the pain. You actually don't need to know me very well to know what I'm thinking. You can just look at my face, and my face will give it away. So I have that gift or that quality to the point where I don't play poker because my face would give the entire game away. So yeah, that's how I channel the pain.
And so we have another familiar face at Tare, which is Kishalia, a very, very active Tare dancer. Kishalia, how is this production now, Kismet, so different from Tare's previous productions?
So this is going to be my third production with Tare, and as usual, there's always a backstory. So a couple of months ago, Anish put out a field to say he left a hint as to what the next production is going to be in a previous highlight reel. And the only thought that came across was like death. And I thought there's no way that I'm on the right track. And I asked him, I was like, does it have anything to do with tragedy? And he says, yes. So fast forward, here we are. So in the past, we've focused on feel-good, happy stories. So this is really an evolution for us to step into something that's more thought-provoking, that invokes the emotional tragedy or the emotional weight of a tragedy. As a dancer, I really do feel like I'm being pushed with the story because we're not shying away from the darker elements, and the choreography and the song choices are really bringing this vision to life. So we've been at rehearsals for the past 2 months already, and it's something so exciting, and we really can't wait for everybody to really see what we're getting out there.
So what I've learned about that is it's made up of a lot of part-time dancers, and you are one of the part-time dancers also, meaning
Yes.
that you have something else as your day job. So how do you go about preparing for a production of this magnitude while having a day job and not being fully involved with that?
I can't lie to you and say that it's easy. It is really, really tough. It's a lot of sacrifices. I mean, all of us are either full-time professionals, scholars, or students, and I must say that dance for us is everything. It is such a strong passion, and looking at our fellow classmates and looking at the passion that's coming through, it really inspires the rest of us. And you actually see that this is a labor of love that we're putting together. So making the sacrifices, it feels all worth it. And at this point, I'd like to just say that our support structure is just as important. So, I mean, all of us have a really, really good support structure. So thank you to the Thara support group that is joining in. We appreciate you so much.
What's really nice I've noticed about Tare is that apart from just promoting the arts, and that's among the youth and promoting Indian culture at the same time, you're also bringing people together from different cities, which is sort of an intercity connect. This is such a beautiful thing. You've got Kishali and Charita who are from Cape Town, and then we have two guys who are from Durban on the production as well. Jitesh, I'm not sure where you're from. Is it Johannesburg?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm a Josie boy.
So you're a guest performer on this, and not just a guest performer. You're the lead performer in this because you get to play Romeo here. So this is apparently your first lead as a hero in a fully fledged theatrical dance production. That moment when Anish approached you with this role to play Romeo in his production Kismet, what went through your mind at that time?
Yeah, it was a roller coaster of emotions, really. I think just working so hard in the past, making sure that I always put my best foot forward in every project. And knowing that now everything that I've worked towards is finally paying off, and I get to work as Romeo, work with Anish, who is so talented, work with a cast like this. I was over the moon. I definitely shed a tear or two. I went to my mom, I gave her a big hug, and I was like, Mom, this is what's happening. And we celebrated, and now we just keep working and we keep building Romeo and make sure that he's the best Romeo that there could be.
So I can imagine that apart from the romance and of course the musicals, you have some fight scenes perhaps as Romeo also. What's the one moment in the show that you've rehearsed so far that really gives you goosebumps every time you do it?
Oh, okay. Without giving too much of details, I think it's the part where Romeo and Juliet finally realize that this is what we want, and fighting for our love is what we're going to do no matter what. I think, like in the actual show itself, everything builds up to this moment where they decide that, okay, we're going to be together. This is our love. And visually, like on stage, having like, everything that's going on with the cast. I will let go of one little secret. Anish, don't kill me. But that's at that point, we have the entire cast on stage, and to see everyone dancing, everyone in sync, and just building up that emotion and building up sort of that climax almost. It gives me chills. Literally, it was one of, from the get-go, the minute I heard that song, I was like, this is a song for me.
And with this being your first production with Tare, how was the rest of the cast with you? I mean, you're kind of new to Cape Town in terms of theatrical production. Were they friendly? Were they welcoming? And how did you get along with the rest of the cast?
I don't know about my Juliet over here. She's been giving me assholes every now and then. Nah, I'm joking. I'm joking. Everyone was absolutely phenomenal. Really, from my side, like obviously being a newbie in Cape Town, not having worked there like so often, I was very nervous. I walked into my first rehearsal a little bit jittery and a little bit shaky, and then eventually I met Charita, and then I got in like obviously in touch with Anish, and then slowly but surely the entire cast started coming through. And when I tell you that there was just an abundance of love and care and warmth from each and every one of them, like it's a feeling that's really unexplainable. In the industry, they always say like you end up becoming family with your dancers or with your actors or with your director. And in a case like this, I can definitely vouch for something like that. Charita and I, like, I mean, connected almost immediately. Our characters, firstly, is so close and so tight. There was not really time to like build a connection. We just sort of had to snap right into it. And it was a very similar case for everyone else. I remember driving home with Kishalia the one day, and she was just so like, "Hey Jitesh, how are you? This, that." And I was like, yes, this is the kind of people I need in my life. The ones who make you feel ready, the ones who give you the extra push to be in that zone, to just continue working 12 hours a day,
Wow.
staying in that character, staying in that zone. So yeah, it's beautiful being a part of a team like this.
And someone I know quite well, that's because he's from my city, is Priyen. Good to see you part of this production, Priyen. Guest dancer playing T-Bolt in this one. So how similar and different are you to your character?
Hi, Boston. I would say that with this character, the first thing when Anish asked me to play this character, I asked him what is this character about and all of these things like that. Obviously, I know Romeo and Juliet quite well, and somehow always get the kind of villainous or the evil kind of role, and I'm actually happy that I get to do it again here. So, like, my similarities with this character is he has a lot of passion and conviction in like all of his everything that he does. He's very loyal to what the cause was between the rifts between the two families, and I think that was something that he wanted to pursue. And I can also relate to him because he's very quick-witted, very, very quickly witted with everything that he does. But that kind of does lead to him getting into a lot of conflict and getting him into a lot of trouble. I would say that the differences between us is his intentions and how he puts everything out there. In terms of following through with his intentions. I would not really follow through with something as in fighting with somebody or causing a conflict with someone or anything like that. And I would say that I have a bit more emotional control than this character. And I guess our goals are very different in life. But that's also the best thing about theater. You get to be somebody that you're not. And that's something that I really, really enjoy about taking on a character like this. You get to show a different side to who you are and really be an artist on that stage. And I think that's why we all are here, taking on something that's completely different from who we are,
And Priyan, apart from playing the character of Thibault, you also are contributing to the choreography because I heard that you're doing the fight scenes in this one, the choreography of the fight scenes. So tell me more about that.
I would really like to firstly thank Anish for giving me that opportunity. You know, it's not every day when you're a choreographer yourself and you get to go into somebody else's sphere, and they give you that opportunity to say like, hey, you know what, I actually want you to do this. And I think like huge applause goes to Anish for being such a selfless director and creator in terms of that and trusting me with something like that. He even told me like, you know what, here's the stuff, this is the theme, go and do whatever you have to do. He will check everything and see if it aligns. But having that full faith of trust in me is amazing. And I just want to thank him for that firstly. There are 3 fight scenes that I'm going to be choreographing, and I'm actually really, really blessed that I get to work with a lot of the cast here. Everybody's so talented. Like there was one that I've rehearsed so far, and that was with Jitesh. So Jitesh and I know each other for a very long time, since he was a kid, and finally we get to work together on something, and that's all thanks to Anish. So while we were rehearsing, it was very interesting to see, because again, like I'm the antagonist to everything that he does, and having that fight happen, we don't hate each other. So having that character develop and then come with, there were points where that's the fun thing about rehearsals, right? There's points where we look at each other, we need to hate each other, we can't, we end up laughing and stuff, just to develop everything more. But having his abilities and me being able to choreograph something for him and I and the rest of the boys and whoever is fighting, it's such a gift to have such versatile dancers that I am working with in this choreography. And I think the audience throughout the show, in terms of choreography, there's something different in every single thing that's happening. I know when I went to Cape Town, you know, for my first set of rehearsals with Anish and everyone, I was mind blown when I saw everything happen there. There's like every single person that he's chosen in this cast is and characterized and casted was perfect for their roles. And every bit of choreography was so different and so inspiring. And I think that any choreographer themselves watching the show will be so inspired by watching it as a whole.
So you spoke there about rehearsals, and so you are not in Cape Town at the moment, right, Brian? So I've heard that some of you guys are doing virtual rehearsals. How many of you here are doing virtual rehearsals? Well, 3 of you. Okay, Mikhail. Okay, fine. So, Mikhail, how's that whole process for you, having to do the rehearsals virtually?
Hi. Yeah. So I would say it's a good blend between like it's a creative process, but also very challenging. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Priya and I are really isolated here. So it really tests our ability, because normally in a dance setting, you would really like sort of match somebody's energy that's next to you or whatever the case is, and then we don't have that here. But just like Ishalia said, Tare is a group of people that really support each other. And I had my group of people here, and Anish being the center of everything, and my 2 girls, Pavin and Arisha. Yes. And then I speak to Charita here and there, and they've been really like, easing my concerns and, my somewhat anxieties. But yeah, other than that, leave alone the like negative stuff that really come through. There's 2 things that really sort of stood out for me. I think it really tested my adaptability, which I never thought that I would be able to learn all these dances and this choreo, which is crazy. You guys are in for a treat. And yeah, it's that, and more so, there's this real hype in me. The minute I get into Cape Town, I'm like so excited to meet everybody. So yeah, so that's the 2, I think, best things that came from these online rehearsals.
But what has been the most exciting thing for you, having to play this the role of Mercutio in the play?
Okay, yeah. So I think what Mercutio stands for is friendship, and when Anish contacted me, I think I stand to be corrected, I was the last person to be casted, and he told me who was in the show already. And then when I heard Jit's name, I was like, what? It's crazy, because Jits and I have been like the longest standing friends ever. Like we've known each other since like 2015, 2016. So the fact that we've been friends for so long, and then we kind of have to translate that on stage, it's really exciting. Yeah, that has to be the most exciting thing. And I think more so, come on, Romeo and Juliet is it's iconic, you know, and for us to not just adapt it, but for Anish to reimagine it in a, you know, in the Bollywood art form, it's really something. And for myself to be part of that, you know, of this thing that is so much bigger than all of us, you know, I'm like so appreciative of it. Yeah, so really, really so stoked for that.
We also have Arisha, a long-standing Tare dancer, and she's a teaching assistant, also playing Rosaline in this one. Yeah, so there's two roles for you. Apart from playing Rosaline in the actual production, you're also a teaching assistant. So what is that process like, having to learn the choreography and then deliver that to the cast?
Sure. Thanks, Varshan. So let me explain why I have so many more gray hairs than I used to a couple months ago. The process is actually twofold. So in the beginning, Anish will set up a session with me, and this will either be via Zoom or it's going to be an in-person rehearsal, depending on how complicated the choreography is. Choreography to me in words. And after that, I mean, really, it's just trial and error. So, you know, to be honest, Anish he's like this really old soul trapped in this semi-young person's body. So his dance style is very reflective of that, which helps me to understand where he's going with the choreography. So I generally understand it when he explains. But you know, there's one or two times where he'll just show up to rehearsals and he has decided to just reinvent himself. And I'm not doing a Bollywood song anymore. I am suddenly doing Step Up 2 and I'm Channing Tatum. So, you know, you never know what to expect. Those rehearsals end up taking a lot more time than the normal Bollywood rehearsals. There's a lot more patience that's required. There's a lot more adjustments required. There's also, you know, more figuring out whether what he's asking me to do is physically possible on a human body. So that's also something we've been struggling with. But once we're done, eventually, at some point in time, we'll then, after 12 iterations of the same song, we'll then take a video, or sometimes we don't, and we just leave it in God's hands. And then comes the teaching. So for the teaching as well, this is either going to be via Zoom or this is going to be in person. Doing it in person is the lesser of the two evils. At that point, Anish will basically explain in words and I will demonstrate for the class so that they can see what it looks like physically. And then comes Zoom. And I am surprised that Mikhail did not mention this because he's one of the biggest culprits, the Wi-Fi connectivity. We had a session last week, Varshan, and honestly, it looked like he was in the bush. I did not know what was happening. He was fast forwarding himself at some point. Then he was suddenly just not moving at all. Then he was dancing in slow motion. Don't ask me how that happened. It looked like Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham for a second. So yes, it comes with its own challenges. But I mean, you know, doing it via Zoom and teaching via Zoom, in that instance, I would explain in words and then I would also demonstrate for the class and then take any questions. And it's also nice to skip the traffic. But yeah, pros and cons to both, but we make it work.
And playing Rosaline, tell us more about that and the character that you're playing here.
Sure. So Rosaline, I mean, she makes a cameo and she's in the scenes with Mercutio and with Romeo, as you know, but neither of whom are in Cape Town. So as I said, she's dancing by herself right now. She's solo. So she's just, you know, she's a chill girl. She's just dancing her way through life. And then at some point, Romeo sees her and becomes infatuated by her. She wants nothing to do with him. You know, she's single. She's living her best life. So she decides to, you know, pretend to be interested in his best friend, which is Mercutio, just to get him off her back. She's not the most emotionally sound woman, Rosaline. I mean, she could make better life choices, but she's young. And, you know, that's what you do when you're young. Yes. So she, you know, she's pretending to be into Mercutio, and then, you know, Romeo's upset by that. He's in despair. But, you know, Romeo, he's also a fickle character here. I mean, after 5 minutes, he goes and falls in love with a completely different woman. So he's, you know, he's suddenly with Juliet. And Rosaline is not happy about that. You know, she's annoyed because, I mean, how dare he? You know, yes, she rejected him, but that doesn't mean he can now just go off and find the love of his life and be happy. Like, that's just not the audacity. I mean, So yeah, she's annoyed about that, and she gets a little bit jealous, and she tries to win him back and get the attention back on her. But unfortunately, he's a one-woman man, and by that point, he's very much in love with Juliet. And then, at some point, Mercutio decides to take a liking to Rosaline. So it's very much a love triangle that gets flipped. We flip the script. At first it's Romeo after Rosaline. Rosaline's pretending to be after Mercutio. Then suddenly Rosaline is after Romeo, and Mercutio is after Rosaline. So she's in struggle city in this show. But it's really more just a fun segment that's going to be added to the show, because there is a lot of heaviness, given the story. So I think it's just something light and fun that, this love triangle will just add a bit more character to the show.
Oh, thanks for that. I think you gave us a very comprehensive understanding of your character and how exactly you're fitted into the entire script. I want to move over to Sumay now, because I believe we'll get some very interesting stories from her. She's a guest collaborator, contemporary and modern dance. Now, you specialize and have been specializing for a very long time in contemporary and modern dance. Coming from that background now, and you doing Bollywood genre of dance, how do you manage to marry these two different entities?
Hi, Varshan. Nice to meet you. And it's nice to see the team all on the screen, which I haven't all met before. So it's great. So I've always loved Bollywood for years and years, even though modern and contemporary is my style, with the vibrancy and the color and the perfection of all the steps and things. And then I got a call from Tar, Anish, and to say, can I give you a call? Can we collaborate? And I was like, oh yes, I'd love to do some Bollywood. But we soon learned that contemporary modern and Bollywood is very, very different. But Bollywood being a lot more grounded and fast, and I learned a lot from all the girls from Tar, and they learned a lot from us. It was actually wonderful how we just came together. It was almost like we've known each other for years. I think Tar, Anish called me. I think it was just over 2 years ago to say, don't you want to be part of our show? And I think it was Anjali in Wonderland. And I said, yes, let's give it a go. And we decided to do a collaboration number together. And they were like, oh my goodness, we've never done modern and contemporary. And I said, well, I've never done Bollywood, so let's give it a go. And and we did really, really well. It was just amazing experience. And then I thought, oh, well, that was that. And then the very next year, Anish said, come, let's do it again. And so we did it again. And this time it was us learning like a full-on Bollywood number. Boy, it was that put us through our paces there. It was tough, but it was so much fun. As I say, we all just came together and made it work, and it was just a fabulous collaboration. So, and then of course, how can I resist a Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah.
And that was great. But the challenges, of course, now especially, we've got a few more numbers that I'm choreographing for this one, and Anisha said, come, you can do it. And then, so the challenge, of course, is the language. I don't obviously understand the Hindi, and so
I'm sure you know at least 1 or 2 words by now. You probably picked it up from the song.
I don't know. I'm still trying to get Kalibali or something. I don't know. But I'm just trying to, as we go along, then Anish said, no, that movement doesn't mean heart, or it doesn't mean love. And I'm like, okay, let's try it again. So, but with his guidance, it's been an absolute amazing to work with him, and of course the cast. I haven't yet worked with the cast yet for this one. We're still working on all the the choreography first, but definitely from the last 2 shows, I can't wait to bring this all onto stage. The vision of Anish is just inspiring and like amazing. Every time I see him, he's got a new thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be big. So it's been great. Yeah.
But Sume, also the creative process between you and Anish, the two of you really have to vibe well to be able to produce such brilliant content, right? Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, I must say when I met Anish like in person, I think it was like we have been friends, like from the word go. We just clicked. It was just great. I mean, we always laugh because he's quite a perfectionist. I'm sure all of you agree. And and it's been, but I just love it. And he will tell me exactly what it is that he wants, and I do my best to deliver. And if I'm not quite what it is that he's looking at, especially as I say with the language in the songs, he will help me. But we are always on a call talking about it, or trying to. It's actually to inspire each other, create energy for each other, and we're in each other's corner, just helping and saying, you can do this, we can do this, because a show this big comes with challenges, and him being a teacher and me being a teacher, we know that it's a challenging thing to put on a show, and we understand that we need each other's help or encouragement, I think, to say that we can do this. It's not out of our grasp, and I think that's why we really, really get along with each other. I just have been loving doing these things with Anish and the TAR company.
Thank you for that, Sume. So before we go on to the next speaker, I'd just like to remind the viewers who are logging in right now and joining us on this official launch. We are launching Kismet. It's produced by Tare. It's the 11th production, 13 years in existence for Tare. And we welcome your questions. It's nice to see your compliments coming through for the cast and for the production on the whole. But we would like to get some questions from you also. Please feel free to send us through to us. So there's one more speaker remaining. Does anyone know who it is? Yeah, can we give him a round of applause? Because, I mean, he's really the artistic director par excellence. And we so appreciate you. You are someone I truly admire and respect, Anish, for all the hard work and dedication that you're showing towards your craft and the arts. And finally, we get to you to speak to you this evening. How are you feeling?
Good, thank you, Vashan. But first, I just want to say thanks so much for graciously accepting our invitation to host our official launch today. Your support has not only been shown with this show, but in years past, and we really, really appreciate the support of Tare and the support of the arts that you have. I'm doing well, all circumstances taken into account. It's been a journey already, and it's still a month and a half to go, but overall in good spirits, and just keep pushing and keep going.
So as I was saying in the introduction, obviously Tare is very active in promoting Indian arts in Cape Town throughout the year. And there's one big production that happens annually. So what led you to choose this one, Romeo and Juliet, this year? And also, how did you approach adapting the original story into a Bollywood-style production? We've been hearing bits and pieces from everyone, including our collaborator, Sume. So we want to hear it from you now. How did it all come together, and why did you choose this one?
I think between Kim's and myself, Kim is our assistant director, Kim mentioned me. I think the goal is always to try to raise our own bar, or for us to try to raise the bar from the previous year. And we may not always be successful in that endeavor, but we always intend to at least try to present something that's different and that's taken up a notch the following year. And at the same time, we also want to challenge our dancers. We wouldn't want them to be stuck in the same routine, the same concepts year in and year out. So those things considered kind of led us to choosing a tragedy. which comes with a different set of emotions, a different sort of preparation. And Shakespeare and Romeo and Juliet being a classic, that was kind of the obvious choice for us to select for this year's theme. And Kim's and I were very excited about it even before getting theatre dates. We just knew that Romeo and Juliet is what we want to do going ahead. Yeah, we just started working on it again without even having definite confirmation. We were just so excited to put this together. And I think the creative process, the foundation of it is very much based on music. While the story, of course, we fleshed out the story and adapted it to the story that we want to tell. And then directly after that, or perhaps simultaneously, we started music research and started shortlisting songs that would do well for the theme and do well for certain scenes. And I think the music for me is the most inspirational aspect of putting a show together or a story together, because the music kind of directs, or for me at least, it gives me the springboard to bounce ideas of how we can utilize the music to tell the story, which aspects of the song can be used for acting, which can be used for dancing, what emotions we want to portray. And then the lyrics as well form a large part of the creative process, because we would want to select music or lyrics that does justice to the story. It's not just about using a new song or using a song because it's popular. As Chaita may have mentioned, she said that there are some songs you may have forgotten about, and you will see it now live on stage being danced out. So the creative process goes hand in hand with music, and it's been a very long journey of music research and listening and translating and just trying to find the right balance for the overall show, but also for the story. It's been an eye-opening experience, and one that's also taken me out of my comfort zone, because joy and love and laughter is very easy to portray through dance. But here we are going from joy all the way down to death. Which is quite deep and dark. So that's been quite the journey.
And having to put together a production of this scale, what are the challenges, if there are any?
There are too many to count. There isn't a day that goes by that I'm not putting out a fire. And I think personally, because for Tari, we don't have a very big management team, or we don't have I guess the budget or funds to have different people running different portfolios. So producing, directing, and choreographing basically is with all in my portfolio, with the help of Kim's, of course, and our teaching assistant. So within a day, there are 10,000 tasks to get done, and I'll be switching from, let's say, being immersed in editing a song and really getting going with that, and then I'll see a contract pop in my inbox, and then my focus would immediately go to the contract to just see what's happening and what's expected. And then at the same time, I would have maybe a message coming through about a rehearsal schedule, and while I'm trying to maybe choreograph the death scene. So it's a lot that happens in the space of 24 hours, given my role at Tare. And I think just overall, I think a story like this comes with a lot of in inverted commas pressure, because it's a classic, and because people will be building it up in their minds before taking their seat. It is a classic, and there are many different versions and things that exist. So there is, we just want to try our best to deliver the themes as best as we can, and to bring out the talents of the dancers that we have, their skills, to just ensure that their skills are also being given justice to as the story unfolds. It's as I said, one out of the comfort zone, but it's been really, really rewarding already.
So as you say, it's a classic story here, Romeo and Juliet, and you're delivering this in the most theatrically beautiful way possible by bringing the Bollywood elements to stage also. But apart from all of this, do you have any other underlying goals? What are they, and how are you achieving them through this production?
I think that's sort of multifaceted. I think firstly, growth comes to mind first. I think it's important that productions are used to develop the skills of our dancers, to allow them to grow. Although we are engaging in events right through the year, a production really is the biggest event that we as a brand at Tade would do. And I think each dancer must walk away having felt that they have grown as a performer, which is an underlying goal that we have. It's also about sort of showcasing the Indian arts in a non-stereotypical way. Often, as I said, it's Bollywood dance is associated with joy or with love, but there are many other emotions that can be portrayed through the Indian arts and especially through Bollywood. So it's also about changing the overall view or the stereotypical view of what Bollywood is, because we really do have a variety of scenes and a variety of songs, and with that comes a variety of style and emotion. So that's also something we would like to do, to have people walk away, feel like Bollywood is the diverse genre that it actually is today.
And how are you hoping Kismet resonates with your audience?
I think on a deeper level, as soon as the show ends, I would love people to walk out feeling that we should be choosing love over hatred in anything that we do. We should be living life with empathy, with compassion, with understanding, and we need to just be kinder human beings. And even if it means being kind to one person in one particular moment, if we all practice being a good human being, we can make a difference. So I hope that people walk away with that feeling, besides the euphoria of a live show and having witnessed a whole journey unfold in front of them. I do wish that we choose love. We choose love over anything else.
Well, I think thankfully you have a great cast and technical crew who are backing you on this production. So I'm pretty sure all of your goals and your ambitions will be materialized and actualized for this production, Kismet. I want to go back to Charitha now to ask one question, because I've just found out that there's going to be a trailer release coming soon. So what can you tell us about that? How far are we in terms of the production of that?
Yeah, so the trailer will be released soon. We have already filmed it, and we spent many hours going through the process of shooting for that trailer. It really is going to be spectacular when you do see it. So our patrons and Tade fans can look forward to that. It's a teaser of what is to come and what you will see on stage. And a trailer is often an exciting challenge for us as live dance performers, because when you perform live, you spend time rehearsing and doing an item over and over again, in a classroom setting, so that you're well prepared for the performance. But once you're at the event, you dress, the lights are shining, the music plays, and you start dancing. You dance start to finish, and at the end of it, everyone's happy, they're clapping, and you go home, and that's it. But shooting a trailer is very different. We often have to repeat a scene or a set of steps 5-6 times, and each repetition has to be exactly the same. Our hands and arms have to be straight and in the right place, and you got to take it time and time again just to make sure you have the right camera angles, lighting, the facial expressions coming through the way you want it to, that the whole clip is going to have the right emotion and feel of it. So for that 3 to 5 second clip you see in our trailer, it feels like hours and hours of shooting and reshooting for us. It really is a labor of love, though. It's very exciting, a good challenge, and yeah, I really hope you look forward and enjoy the teaser that we've put together for everyone. So that should be releasing very soon.
And where will we be able to see the trailer?
It should be releasing on social media, all our social media platforms. You'll be able to catch that on Instagram, Facebook.
Okay, we have a question. I think it's a very relevant question to ask because ever since I posted that I'll be hosting this, a lot of my friends in Durban were asking, is this production going to be coming to Durban? So Kubashni asks, does Tare have any plans to take the show to other cities, maybe even international? I'm sure it will be amazing. So Anish, what do you have to say about that?
We would love to. We are eagerly awaiting doing a tour. We would love to. I know all the dancers at Tare. I mean, after all these years of presenting work they've done, we would love to share it, outside of the city. It does come down to funding. It does come down to budget and funding, which is our main challenge. So once the universe aligns that for us, we will definitely be moving around South Africa.
So I have a question to the entire cast. Who's the most punctual for rehearsals? Who always arrives first?
Charita. Charita is always the one to arrive first.
And who's the one who always arrives last?
It's not me.
Is that you?
I will say that.
I want to say Arisha in the past. I want to say Arisha in the past, but recent times she's been quite on it.
And has anyone had an embarrassing moment during rehearsal, like maybe just falling or something like that? No?
We've had something to that effect. Not exactly falling. There's this song that we're doing, and we're using hula hoops as a prop. And at the end of the song, you're meant to really swing it over very dramatically. And shame, one of the girls went early on her cue, and she whacked it right over the head of somebody else. I mean, it was really funny, but I mean, we are families. So we laughed about it, hugged about it, and yes, she was a little hurt, but yeah, she's fine. She's well.
So I was told not to talk too much about the songs, not to reveal too much about the songs that are included on the playlist for the production. But perhaps we can find out from all of you which one brings you the utmost joy working on.
I have my answer.
What is it, Jitesh?
It is my opening track. I'm gonna let it loose. It is First Class. It is one of my favorite tracks of life. I think just the way like Romeo is introduced in that song and the way Anish created like the movement amongst the entire stage, it blew me away. Really, the first time I saw it was through a video because obviously I'm in Johannesburg. So I watched it through a video and I had to like go through it at least 3 times just to understand like what is going on because it was fantastic. The creativity is out of this world. So besides actually liking the song, yeah, I'm really excited to perform that one.
Priyan, what about you?
So my favorite one that I've heard so far is the one that Sumay is working on. I haven't seen the choreography yet for it, but Anish has done such a brilliant job in editing the track of it that when I heard it, it literally suited the character that I was playing pretty well. I think everybody kind of feels the songs that their character is fitting a bit more because you're so invested into your character for the show that you relate to it so much more and enjoy it that much more. But Anish has done such a brilliant job in editing that track that when I first heard it, I had complete goosebumps, and I'm so excited to see what Sumay has planned for it. Even though she couldn't say the name properly yet that she was practicing on today.
And Mikhail, do you have a favorite?
So I'm going to flip this question around. I do not have a favorite. I have one that has traumatized me so badly. And I'm sure everybody knows. At this point, everybody that knows me just knows what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm going to give the song away because it deserves it. So it's Tum Kya Mile, and please do not be fooled by the lovey-doveyness of that song. Okay, so some context. So on stage, it's Team Romeo and Team Juliet, and they're in different locations in terms of the plot. So everyone on stage is doing the exact same choreo, but it's mirrored. So whatever somebody's doing with their right hand, the other person's doing with the left hand. And ideally when this was said, it'd be fine. But then you have my character at the beginning who does not only do the opposite. I'm only doing feet choreography. She's crazy, absolutely crazy. I'm so traumatized by it, horribly. But yeah, I thought, just to say what my favorite is thus far. I'm not going to give the song away, but yeah, it's definitely the finale. Yeah, the finale.
All right. Yeah, don't say any more, because leave the
Yeah.
finale as a complete surprise.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to wrap up now, and I just want to get from everyone one line about why Cape Townians should come and watch this one. So perhaps we can start with you, Charita.
Come and feel the passion. Come and feel the romance.
Kishalia.
It is going to be the best winter warmer you're going to get. Literally the best that we've ever done before.
Arisha.
Come and be transported into a completely different era and a completely different world.
Jitesh.
It's love, man. What more do you need?
Mikhail.
You are going to experience every single emotion in the book. That's it.
Priyan.
Durban's coming to bring the heat.
Sumay.
I just think it's going to be magical. Like the color, the vibrancy, it's going to be a magical experience. You'll be, transported in all sorts of emotional, and you'll walk out there happiness, just with smiles on your face.
And Anish, we're going to end with you, but also we want the important details about the show dates, times, as well as the venue and where we can get our tickets from.
I'm going to flip the switch and I'm going to say, please come watch it, because we are pouring our hearts and souls into the show. It's really, really, every single person is working so hard. Even our behind the scenes people, everyone is just working really hard. And as I said, we're trying to raise the comes a whole other level of work and exhaustion and sacrifice. So please make our efforts worthwhile and come watch the show. So the show runs on the 19th and the 20th of July at the Artscape Opera House. Tickets range from $190 to $250. And we do have advertising space available in our souvenir brochure and our social media. So please get in touch if you wish to support the production while advertising your brand. We do have a preview performance as well, and this is open to group bookings for schools, senior homes, and corporates. As well as advertisers would get all access pass to the preview as well. So it's going to be quite unique, quite special, and we're really looking forward to presenting a Bollywood adaptation of the timeless story of Romeo and Juliet.
And we are all looking forward to watching it. So artistic director, collaborator, choreographers, assistants, and the cast from Cape Town to Johannesburg and Durban. This sounds really amazing, and everyone's really excited to watch it. And all the best to Team Tare for this one.
Thank you so much, Vashan. And once again, thank you so much for hosting our official launch.
My pleasure.
Thank you.